What's up, everyone? Coach Megan here, and I'm so excited to have a very talented other person named Megan on the Powerhouse podcast this week. Megan Bologna, she is an expert fitness trainer as well as nutritionist, and she works with a lot of pageant women who are looking to really keep a healthy lifestyle that is attainable for real life. As we know, pageant women don't slow down, and we don't just do pageants. And so I'm actually working with Megan for my wedding prep, for my wedding body of my dreams. And she really specializes in understanding stress and cortisol and just the fact that we don't have 8,000 hours a day to meal prep, and specifically works to help shrink those waist, hip, and leg measurements like we want oftentimes to compete in pageant swimsuit. She works with women of diverse body types, diverse ages, and I really just like her holistic approach to what she does in the realm of nutrition and fitness, which oftentimes can be a really scary world or something that we just don't really like to talk about. So I'm super, super excited to have Megan on the podcast this week. And so here is Megan and Megan. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Powerhouse Podcast. I am so excited to be here with a fellow Megan, Megan Bologna, who is the founder of Megan Bologna Fitness. And we are actually working together right now to help me meet some of my wedding goals for my fitness. And super honored to have her here to talk about all things wellness, fitness, women's empowerment, and why she does what she does. She's also a former Miss Louisiana Teen USA, so part of our pageant family. And Megan, I'm so excited to have you on the podcast, so thank you for being here today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So my first question that I like to start off with our guests is kind of telling us your origin story. So obviously we had chatted before this, and people can see on social media that you were a former Miss Louisiana Teen USA. How did you kind of get into pageants in the first place? And then I'd love to talk about how you got into fitness and fell in love with that as well.
Yeah, definitely. So my mom actually got me into pageants. My first pageant, I was 10 years old, and she actually competed. Her grandmother, she was raised by her grandmother, and she had her competing in pageants and doing modeling at a young age. So it's something that she got me into. And just a little backstory, I was a tomboy growing up. So she thought she was going to have a girl because I have an older brother. She thought she was going to be able to brush my hair and curl it. And I actually didn't let her do any of that. I don't think I wore a dress until I was like in my first pageant when I was 10. So it was really crazy that I went from this tomboy climbing trees. And then I just decided that, okay, I'm going to go on stage and compete in my first pageant. And in my first pageant, I actually got last place. I mean, I did not do well at all. It was very uncomfortable for me, but I also saw the challenge in it. And I really wanted to just further myself at that young age. And so I got into glitz pageants. So they weren't back then like what on TV, like toddlers and tiaras and stuff. It wasn't that glitzy, but I did the glitz pageants all the way up until I was 15. And 15 was when I did Miss Louisiana Teen USA for the first time. And when I did that, it was a different experience. And it took me 3 years to finally win. So that was really exciting. I guess I got my first personal trainer when I competed in Miss Teen Louisiana USA. So about 15, it was my first time ever doing swimsuit. So my mom's like, all right, I was already in good shape. I felt decent. I wanted to lose a little bit of weight just to feel better about myself on stage. So my mom hired my first personal trainer, and she had the biggest impact on my life. It took me a couple of years to try and figure out, okay, like, this is what works for me. And this is, what I know doesn't work for me. And she helped me figure all of that out. So in short, she is the one who inspired me to become certified when I was 19. So I was actually the second oldest contestant that competed at Miss Teen USA. I had just turned 19 in July, and we had gone in that next month in August to compete. So I got certified right in my freshman year of college. So I've been a certified personal trainer for a really long time. 19 and I'm 37, almost 38 now. So, but I started specifically just training pageant contestants in 2010. So this has been my primary focus for the last 11 years.
That's amazing. What do you think helped you to keep going when you didn't win Miss Louisiana Teen USA the first time? And what do you think about the system and maybe how it was the same or different than glitz pageants, or just what pageantry brought to the table for you overall that made you want to continue to pursue that dream?
Yeah. So my first year doing it, I honestly went in it and I didn't know. I had gone the previous year and watched a friend of mine compete, but like as far as the wardrobe and hair and makeup, I would definitely say my first year it was just like a little bit too much. And so actually the first year that I competed, I had like a $3,000 or a $4,000 dress. And on my third year when I won, I had an $80 cachet clearance rack dress that I borrowed from my coach's sister. So that was definitely like eye-opening. And it just goes to show you that you don't have to have, $1,000 wardrobe to win. It's about what you bring on stage and what you portray and letting your inner beauty, shine through. So it was definitely one of the biggest things I learned was, you can be attractive on the outside, but definitely what helps you puts you over that edge is what comes, through from your inside out on stage for sure.
That is so cool. I love hearing stories like that. My really good friend, Justice Enlow, who was Miss Tennessee at the same time as me, is Nebraska last year for USA. She won Tennessee in like a $300 gown. And I just love hearing those stories. Obviously, people win in $10,000 gowns and stuff like that too. Yeah. But, I think it's cool that regardless of, what background you come from, like there is a place in pageantry for everybody. I was a tomboy growing up a lot too, and kind of switch back and forth between like athlete self and then the girl who loved to be in, theater and all the girly stuff, show choir. But that's what I love about pageantry is it truly is about people unlocking what has been on the inside of themselves for the whole time, but they just need coaches and facilitators to help that come out. And I'd love to talk about that a little bit more, of just kind of your philosophy of why, you've been able to sustain a business with pageant women for almost 12 years now, which is incredible. And what are some of the inner things that you feel like women really struggle with that they come to you for? And then we'll talk about the external as well, obviously, but what are some of the problems or the biggest issues that you feel like you get to help women solve that they struggle with when they come to you?
Yeah, definitely self-confidence, and just overall body image and viewing themselves in a positive light. It's something that I see, every day, and it's something that I've struggled with. And so I think that a lot of girls, especially pageant contestants, they understand that I've gone through the exact things that they're going through, and I understand how they feel, and I understand what it takes to kind of get out of that. So, but I would definitely say just the pressure of going on stage in a swimsuit. That was my first. So when I competed in teen, it wasn't active wear yet. It was swimsuit. And that was something I never did before. So I had already kind of felt the pressure of just body image and looking at my body in the mirror and starting to pick it apart because I went to an all girls high school. So it was something that, in 8th grade, when I started attending the school, it was like, okay, you just start looking at other girls and there's like no males around. And you're like, oh, well, she might be smaller than me and stuff. So that's something that I work with on my clients for sure, is just getting them to see themselves in a positive light, and then they'll start feeling it. So, and a big part of what I do is I bring in like a mindset component to their programs. So not only are they getting a nutrition program and they're getting a workout program, but we work on our mindset. We work on bringing in meditation into their routine, and listening to positive affirmations. And all of those things help with being able to see your body and have a positive body image. So that's definitely the biggest thing, honestly, though. Just girls that look in the mirror and they say, I'm not happy, and they pick their bodies apart. And so we bring that mindset component in to really help with that. And then, of course, before and after photos are always great. They're always great ways to track progress, because like when you text me this morning, I'm like, you better stay off that scale. As women, we fluctuate. I mean, we can fluctuate up to 5 pounds in one day. It's just the way our bodies are made. And with our hormones fluctuating, every day is different. You can be a different number. So that's one thing I say is, let's take these before photos so you can actually see yourself, and you can see the positive changes every 4 weeks that you're making. And we stay off the scale, and we do that once a week, and you get a better view of how everything is going. So
yeah, that's really good. So I'd love to hear your kind of coaching philosophy of what maybe makes you the same or different than other programs, because I actually found you because somebody that I knew worked with you, first of all. And then I looked at your before and afters, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like this is just so amazing that literally, you know, people talk about being like a waist and hip measurement reducer expert or all these things. But, you know, even though people have beautiful different body types and all these different things, there is like a pageant look of, yeah, like we want to look long and lean. We want to look fit and healthy. And I think that you've really been able to carve out like a niche market of being able to get those results. So what makes kind of your system different? And can you kind of give an overview? You said there's a mindset component, you know, things like that, weighing yourself once a week. What are some other elements of what makes your program maybe different than somebody just downloading an app, you know, doing workouts, following a training program on their own?
Yeah. So I think what you just said, what makes me different is my experience in the field and my knowledge of knowing what the judges are looking for. Not only have I competed before, but I've judged in the USA circuit and the America circuit. And I have a ton of friends who are constantly flying all around. And so I'm able to talk to them and really get firsthand knowledge on what each director in each state is looking for, based on what they're telling their judges they want. So the first thing that I do, though, is if a client or a potential client comes to me, I typically will either talk with them on the phone or we text, but typically we talk on the phone and we go over their goals. Their goals are what I make happen. So I always tell my client, it's not what I want for you, it's what you want for yourself. And I think that's the biggest difference is if you were to walk into the gym and just say, okay, I'm competing in a pageant and there's a trainer in there and they know nothing about it, they're just going to have you go and they're going to have you do a leg press and they're going to have you squat and they're going to have you do lunges and they're going to have you do the most, basic movements, but those might not be conducive to the look that typically judges will go for a girl that they're going to crown in a pageant. So I go over those kind of things. If it's a girl that's, first competing, okay, this is what the judges typically look for. They like that long, lean look. Most girls that come to me are pretty seasoned and they understand that. And that's why they're coming to me, because they're like, oh, hey, I've been working, with so many different people and I can't get my legs to slim. Help me. So I think that's what makes me different is I know what the judges are looking for. I've been there and I listen to what they want. So if somebody tells me they want a bigger butt, I will give you a bigger butt. If a girl tells me they want abs, I will do my best to give you abs. So, and I understand not everybody wants a certain look. So we've seen it on Instagram the past couple of years. It's been nothing but the peach butt and big booty and build it. Not every girl wants that. So we, as educated trainers, have to understand that it's not what we want for our clients. It's what our client wants from us and what they want to achieve. So
yeah, that is so well put. And I have a follow-up question for that, which, by the way, anyone listening who wants a bigger butt, I have a huge butt and it doesn't fit in pants and it's super annoying. And so I went to Megan because I was like, girl, I need to shrink my butt and my legs. So it might look cool on Instagram, but have a fun time buying pants because literally you're gonna have to go up like 3 sizes and it can be debilitating, honestly, sometimes because like your waist is one size and then, your pants are literally like 3 sizes bigger. And then that, if you don't have somebody kind of coaching you through where you're at in life or whatever, that can be really debilitating because on the other side of things, you do see this, pageant physique that apparently we're all supposed to have. And if you don't have a coach that can help you take into consideration the way that God made you and the way that your frame just naturally is, you could also be, just doing 4 hours of cardio a day thinking that that's going to get you skinny when in reality, your body is just completely different than the person that you're comparing yourself to. Have you had any experience with that in the past?
Yeah, actually, I have a new client that I just did a call with a couple days ago, and she's starting on Monday. She's a Mrs. Contestant, and I actually know her. She's local to me, so I am familiar. She's been in pageants for a really long time, and her thing, if you will, is she's plus size, and she's always been a size 14 to 16. And so she told me, look, I'm competing in October. She said, my dress is always on point. My interview is always on point, but I struggle in swimsuit. And she said, I never know if the set of judges and the judging panel that I'm going to be judged by, if they're going to be inclusive of a plus size queen or not. And so she said, I really, really want to focus this time around on swimsuit. It's always been the thorn in my side. And she goes, I know I'm not going to be below a 10. She said, I just don't ever see that happening. And I said, well, what we need to focus on then is we need to focus on bringing the best version of you that we can to stage. So whatever that is, I can't tell you, you said you've never been below X size, but you also have not worked, I don't want to toot my own horn, but you haven't worked with me before. So I said, let's just focus on giving it 100%. And let's focus on bringing the best version of you that we possibly can in the most healthy way that we possibly can. So it is about doing that ultimately. If you can bring the best version of yourself to stage, then that confidence, like we said, it's just going to shine on stage. It's going to put you over the edge. And I like to think that a lot of my girls have just that extra it factor when they go on stage, because not only do they look good, but they feel the best that they've ever felt in their life, and it shows.
I am so looking forward to that. So everyone listening, at the time of this recording, I started her program yesterday, and I haven't even told you this yet, but I got done from dinner yesterday, and I was, I hadn't like eaten as many snacks, and I had like 35 fat left, and I was like, Landon, oh my gosh, I get to I have extra fat left. This is so exciting, because all the fun things to eat have fat and carbs in them, and I couldn't believe how full I was, and I had only eaten, about 200 under my calorie limit for that day. And because of the type of nutrition that I was fueling my body with, which again, I feel like I know a lot about nutrition, but just having that set plan for me with how crazy my life is and, following the same thing for a week and then changing it for the next week, or even just mixing and matching of, the different meal plans, which I know are all in the correct macros, was so empowering to me because it eliminated decision fatigue, because as a CEO, I make 1,000 other decisions a day. I don't need to stress about food. And I felt just amazing. And so I'd love for you to speak a little bit to the nutrition side of things of where do you think people are going wrong in terms of what they might think is healthy? They might think that they're doing correctly, but you actually find that you have to correct most often for your clientele.
It's 100% under eating. Almost every single girl I've worked with, they undereat. And I am guilty of it too. I actually just kind of got myself back in my hormones back right. After 2 years of just, I was really sick after having my son, and I had a lot of food allergies and sensitivities going on. And I was just so scared to eat. And when we do that, we really mess with our hormones. We mess with our metabolism. So yeah, a lot of people, when they start working with me, they're like, oh my gosh, like that looks like a lot of food. Do I have to eat? And I'm like, yeah, you have to. So we slowly work on increasing their calories to where they're getting the nutrients that they need. But that's a huge thing I see is women under eating for sure, or going and they're grabbing coffee and drinking coffee, guilty here too, drinking coffee, and then not eating for hours later. So, but definitely under eating for sure. Everyone always says when they start working with me, they're like, oh my God, I'm full. Like, do I have to eat again? And I'm like, yeah, well, we won't stop ourselves, but yeah, we need to get that metabolism going again and get you, back into a healthy range of calories. So we need a bare minimum of 1,000 calories a day for our bodies to even function. So I see a lot of times girls are, they've been eating 1,000 and 1,200 calories for years, and they're amazed by the time we finish. They're, I have a girl who lost 20 pounds and she was eating like 2,200 calories a day. She was eating like 170 grams of carbs. And she was like, what the heck? She was like, this is crazy. So yeah.
My mind is blown. My mind is blown. Literally, because like I've been eating around, I feel like 1,700 to 2,000 for like a long time. And I've gained about 10 pounds, since post pageant and stuff like that, where I haven't been like 100% tracking, but like I know food enough where I'm like, okay, here's what I'm eating.
Yeah.
But potentially, I would imagine that there's something that I'm eating through maybe like fog eating, mindless snacking, something like that maybe is like really increase those calories to where I'm not aware of it like I think I am. But you kind of answered it, but I'm curious if I can ask this in a different way, if there's anything else that you want to add to that. So like for somebody in my situation, okay, I've gained 10, 12 pounds since like my fittest pageant, Miss USA body, whatever. But I don't but I eat really, really healthily. And I'm not in that category of under eating. But sometimes I just don't know what I'm doing wrong. And that's really why I came to you, is because I'm like, dude, I literally burn 700 calories a day working out. I work out 5 times a week. I eat super healthy and I'm gaining weight. So like for people who don't have that under eating problem, is there like another thing that you correct most often when it comes to nutrition that ends up really getting them results?
Oh gosh. It could be like a number of factors. Like you said, when you're grabbing a handful of nuts, or you think you have, if you grab a spoon and you think you have a tablespoon of nut butter, but if you actually grab like a teaspoon measuring spoon, it's completely different. We'll grab grab a tablespoon and be like, oh my gosh. And then you could fit 2 servings very easily on that if you don't measure that out correctly. Now I don't believe in, having to measure every single solitary thing out, but being mindful, like you said, of those things adding up over periods of days. Yeah. You could be getting an extra, 300 calories very easily. But, there's a lot of things that could be going on that are probably a little bit out of my scope as far as like blood work goes. There could be, you could have a mineral imbalance, hormones. As women, I will say this, as women, literally at 25, we start decreasing in muscle mass if we're not lifting weight. So at 30, it gets even worse. So you will notice as a woman, if you aren't regularly participating in weight training, you will notice that your body starts changing very, very early, a lot earlier than men for sure. So, but definitely hormones could be playing a factor for sure. I can't say with you specifically just because we just started working, together and stuff, but I promise we'll be able to get you down and stuff. And then just stressing about it, getting on that scale and looking and going, oh my God, what's going on? Oh my God, what's going on? Cortisol level goes up when we stress, and cortisol is what makes you store body fat around your stomach. So there's a lot of different things. Not getting enough sleep. Are you getting 8 hours of sleep a night? That's a big one that I see is especially with my clients, because a lot of them are in college and they're in sororities and they're doing events. If they're a prelim title holder, they're on the go all the time, making appearances, and they're not getting the proper rest. So that's another thing. That was one thing that factored in with me, was not getting enough sleep and allowing my body to repair fully at night. Also, overtraining is one thing that we see. So pushing too hard, working out too hard. Research has shown, although I do love HIIT training, high intensity interval training, it does increase our inflammation by a lot. So if we're not allowing our body to properly rest and recover, then we're overtraining. And those symptoms, could be fatigue, weight gain, brain fog, all of those things. So I think between age, hormone levels, stress, not enough sleep, and overtraining. Those are 5 things that we could, that I could potentially see with a client that, is eating in a deficit, but they're not losing weight on the scale.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hope I answered that good.
No, you totally did. Yeah. And actually, I
mean, it could be so many different things.
Yeah, I just started last week. Landon and I were like, okay, we're going to hold each other accountable. Like, we're going to sleep 8 hours. So I really felt in my heart that was like something that I was 100% in control of, and like, I know that I'm stressed for me personally. So this will be good. I'm like the guinea pig, and I'll share with my followers as we go along of, oh my gosh, like it was this unexpected thing. I also think though too, that, with pageant women, like you said, we're so on the go, we're in sororities, we're working a full-time job and going to school. Like, we're such go-getters that a lot of times what I have loved so far is just the consistency of like eating the same macros every day, like having something in my life that is normal when everything else isn't normal. And so I'm sure that maybe even just that could play a factor too, of your body like getting used to something rather than like, fasting one day and then you binge the next day and you do this.
Yeah. And that's one thing that I do. And you'll notice as you go through my program is I don't believe in cutting out food groups. I definitely believe in eating carbs. I believe if you have for sure you're sensitive to dairy or you can't, process gluten correctly, then cut those out. And I have my clients, when they are doing their onboarding with me, I have them send me a list of food likes and dislikes, like I asked you to. And I incorporate foods that you love to eat. I don't believe in making you eat food that you don't like. I have a client that came to me. She's competing in Miss Colorado USA in July. And she shared with me her photo from last year. And she was like, my trainer made me eat chicken and peas, like literally every day. She was like, I was miserable. I was bloated. Look at the freaking picture. And I was like, my God, why would someone force you to eat something that one is making you gassy? That's a sign right there that says your body is not tolerating it. But number 2, I mean, I just don't believe in torturing yourself that much. So when my clients come to me, I have them give me that food list of likes and dislikes. I incorporate, if you tell me you like Mexican, I do my best to give you the most healthy versions of Mexican flavored dishes that I can come up with. And if you know that you are allergic to nuts, I have them let me know that. If you know you can't process dairy and you get bloated and you break out, then obviously I don't put that into your diet. So, but I definitely believe in eating from all food groups. And I definitely believe in enjoying it. And when you said something that really struck home, and I think one of the biggest things that I can do for my girls is take the guesswork out of it. Like you said, pageant contestants are on the go, our contestants are in college. They're being for fine right now. They're getting a prelim, and they're traveling to make appearances. The last thing they want to have to think about, am I going to eat? Or what am I going to guess? All of my workouts I'm working with Miss America's Outstanding Teen right now, Marcel, and all of her workouts, she is constantly on the go. She is a student at Auburn, but then she's on the road all the time, flying everywhere, making appearances. And the workouts work perfect for her. And I have taught her how to eat outside of the meal plan if that's what she has to do for that week. So I'm able to teach all of my clients, okay, like if you go out to eat, this is how you choose something that is going to fit into this lifestyle right now off of the menu. So, but taking the guesswork out of it is huge. That's one of the biggest benefits, I think, honestly, working with me is not only will you get the results that you're looking for, but it takes the guesswork. I take the guesswork out of everything for you.
Yeah.
All you have to do is look at it and follow it, do what I say, and communicate with me, and you will go where you want to go.
Yes, I love it. I love it. It's so empowering. So along those lines, one of my last questions for you, what do you love the most about kind of this transformation process, about being involved in, I would say like a pretty intimate part of people's lives as well as their psyche, telling them what to eat, and there's a trust factor there. So yeah, tell our listeners a little bit more about like what you love and what continues to drive you to grow this business and help people every day.
Yeah, I would say the biggest and most rewarding thing about doing this is just getting the messages and hearing in girls' voices just how much of an impact that I've made on their life and just how amazing they feel. And most of them will say, I didn't even know this was possible. I didn't know I could feel this good. I didn't know that I could love myself this much. I didn't know that my body could change like this. So that's the biggest thing. And I think one of the coolest things about this is the girls that I work with, and I've worked with girls from outside of the United States too. And the craziest thing is that I don't get to meet 99.9% of these girls unless they're from my home state of Louisiana, which I'll go to the pageant and be able to see them or go to a prelim because it's, local and close. But 99% of the time, I don't ever even get to physically meet my clients, but we have, like you said, this connection, and we build this connection, and it's crazy. It's mind blowing to be on such an intimate level with, someone that you probably won't ever get to meet in your life, so that's something that I've thought about. I had my client that's competing in Colorado. She messaged me yesterday, and she was like, my mom and I are sitting here talking. She was like, we think you need to have a convention because you're just amazing. And I was like, you know what? That is on my list of things to do with my business. Is I would love maybe next summer to host like a 2-day weekend for clients to come and just have like a full experience in person, because I think it would just be wild. So that's definitely something on my list. But just hearing girls tell me that they didn't think it was possible for them to ever get to where they wanted to be and feel and look the way that they do is what keeps me going for sure.
That's amazing. Well, you are definitely one of the best in the business. I'm so excited to allow people kind of into my journey because I've been frustrated for so long, and, wedding's like 8 weeks away. And so we're going to see some big results, and I'm really, really excited and just committed. And I think, people are stronger together. And I think so often women specifically are kind of silo themselves and isolate themselves into this quiet prison of hating themselves. And every single day is a reminder of, sometimes you're like, well, I'm a failure just because I'm not as skinny as I want to be, just because I don't have the body. And then it takes that power away from us to even feel like we know how to get from A to B, and when you feel like you've tried everything, and when you feel like you're eating healthy and you feel like you're working out correctly, but they might as well, they might very well be doing things that are in direct opposition to the results they're looking for. Like you said, leg press, squats, whatever. There is an answer on the other side of the corner. We just need coaches and mentors and people in our lives that are the experts in that sector of the world to help us get there. So I honor you and I respect you for what you're doing in that field. And I love finding other people that are just empowering women, in those areas that really do make a lasting impact to kind of hand back that control in people's lives and as well as that hope. So you're just awesome. And I really appreciate you for that.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah. I'm just blessed that I get to every day. I mean, I go often on my social media and just thank everybody for their support because I'm a small business too. I stay at home with my son who's 3 right now. He'll be going to school in August. This is what I do. This is what I do every day is meal plans and consults and type up workouts and stuff and send them and check in with my clients and make sure that they're, on their path to success. So I'm blessed that I get to do this 100%.
Absolutely. Well, to kind of close out, I'd love for you to tell people how they can find you on social media, your website, and just any last thoughts that you have for everybody listening.
Yeah, absolutely. So my Instagram is Megan Bologna Fit, and my website is just my name, meganbologna.com. And on my website, you can find everything that I offer right now. And I will say this, I do work with women who are not in pageants. So we're working for your wedding right now. And I will say that I have about 4 or 5 clients right now that are getting ready for their weddings. Some of them are friends of pageant contestants and some of them are former pageant contestants themselves. And I also do some group coached programs. Right now we just started the summer one. Those are typically 30 days long, but a lot of the girls in that are sorority sisters of pageant contestants that are like, oh my God, what are you doing? I want in on that. And so that's my way of helping them out. And I even have a couple moms of contestants that I've worked with that are also in my summer program right now. So I will say I've trained my pageant girls through their wedding. I've trained one of them, for like 3 years for her state pageant. I trained her for her wedding. And now she is on her 3rd baby. And she always will get a program from me to bounce back after having her babies. So it's crazy to be along on somebody's journey that long. But yeah, all my social media is my name, Megan Bologna Fit for Instagram. And then meganbologna.com is where you'll be able to find all of the programs that I offer.
Awesome.
Oh, and I will say this, I do have a text community as well. That's amazing. I will in the next couple of days put up another box, but I basically send out text every week, whether it's an inspirational quote. I send out mini workouts. It's a great way to kind of get a feel for what I do. And I send out lots of motivational and mindset things on that as well. So that's another option.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Megan. We'll have everybody follow you and we'll put all that information in the show notes so people can get in contact with you. And here's just to a year of fitness for everybody, getting healthier, mind, body, spirit. And thanks for all you do. So with that, you guys, we'll see you guys next week.
Hey guys, Coach Megan here, and thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Powerhouse Podcast. We're so honored to have you wherever you are, near or far away from the great metropolis of Omaha, Nebraska, where we are from. We are so proud to be your virtual coaches. If you could just share this with a friend that you feel like needs to hear this today, give us a 5-star review if you haven't already, and click that link below in our show notes. We promise we are the nicest people. We are the nicest people, we promise, and we'd love to meet you, and we'd love to to figure out if you're a good fit for our programs, or make a suggestion for a different coach, different consultant, different person that's a professional in their field that can help you. The reason why we do it this way, actually, because a lot of people ask, is because we want to help you practice the elements of being a great title holder from the very beginning. And one of those things is vulnerability. One of those things is being a self-starter. One of those things is being able to reach out and cold email, cold call, cold DM somebody that you don't know because of the potential opportunity on the other side of things. When I was Miss Nebraska and Miss Nebraska USA, just letting y'all know that's how you get media, that's how you get appearances, that's how you get sponsors, is being willing to put yourself out there. And so we want to help you practice that from the very beginning, learn more about you, and discover if we can help you, and we'll point you in the right direction for one of our services, programs, and the right coach for you. Otherwise, we will absolutely make a best suggestion for you in a different direction, because at the end of the day, we're not territorial about needing to coach every person in the world. We just want you to find your right fit so that you can make your dreams come true and unlock the winner within you. Anyways, just wanted to encourage you guys in that today. Again, leave us a review, DM us on Instagram at any of our handles, and with that, we'll see you guys next week.